Hi and Assalamualaikum. In this video, we will be presenting about a car rental system for Ayra Transport. In details, we will be only focusing on car renting process. We are Group 4 from CS143 4B. Our group consists of 5 members. First, Faris Haikal bin Nur Azman. Second, Muhammad Shafiq Nur Hazwan bin Nur Ramzi. Third, Muhammad Fahim Iqbal bin Nori. Fourth, Muhammad Amir Harzik bin Khairul Nizam. And last but not least is Nur Anira binti Syamsul Johari. Here is a little bit information about our chosen company, which is Ayra Transport. Ayra Transport is located in Bertam Walk 21-213 Jalan Dagangan 2, Pusat Bandar Bertam Perdana 13200 Kepala Batas Pulau Pinang. Ayra Transport was established in 2019, and at first, Ayra Transport started as a car rental service only for the nearest area. And for now, the company has several branches in Perak and Kedah. Next is problem statement. The existing system in Ayra Transport is manually working. This rental car system manages information about customer details and also car details that involved in the renting process. So it becomes problems to the details and also the billing calculation. This is because all the information is being collected in written form, and the bills are being recorded in the bill book without any official receipt for the customer to keep. This process will lead the company to easily neglect customer information by losing the form. In addition, miscalculation of the bills might happen due to the manual calculation.
Objective of proper system. So the first one, to improve the management system in Ayra Transport. Data entry of the customer information can easily be done by customer. Other than that, data entry will relate to the calculation. Therefore, the database system calculate the bill automatically for customers, and for sure there are no miscalculation. The second one is to improve customer data efficiency. The database system management allows handling a larger number of different types of data at one time. Customers also can insert their data without disturbing others' data.
For entity relationship diagram, we have 6 tables which are branch, customer, bill, rental, car and feedback. For branch table, the primary key is branch ID and the other attributes are branch address, branch stage, branch postcode and branch phone number. Next is customer table. The primary key is customer ID and entry branch ID as foreign key. And the other attribute is customer first name, customer last name, customer phone number and customer address. The relationship between branch table and customer table is one-to-many. Each branch can deal many customer. Each customer deals by one and only one branch. Next is bill table. The primary key is bill ID and the foreign key is customer ID. The other attribute is bill date and bill amount. There is a relationship between customer table and bill table. The relationship is one-to-many. Each customer can have many bills. Each bill can only have by one customer. Next is rental table. The primary key is rental ID and the foreign key are customer ID, car ID and bill ID. The other attribute are rental rate, rental date start and rental date end. There is a relationship between bill table and rental table. The relationship is one-to-many. Each bill consists many rental. Each rental can only consist by one bill. There is also relationship between customer table and rental table. The relationship is one-to-many. Each customer makes many rental. Each rental can only made by one customer. Next is car table. The primary key is car ID and the other attributes are car brand, car year manufacture and car capacity. There is a relationship between car table and rental table. The relationship is one-to-many optional. Each car has many rental. Each rental has one car. And the last one is feedback table. The primary key is feedback ID and the foreign key has two, car ID and customer ID. The other attributes are feedback score and feedback date. There is a relationship between car table and feedback table. The relationship is one-to-many optional. Each car can have many feedbacks. Each feedback only have one car. There is also relationship between customer table and feedback table. The relationship is one-to-many optional. Each customer can make many feedbacks. Each feedback only made by one customer. So for the next part is 3NF relational schema. We have 5 entities such branch, customer, car, feedback, bill and rental. In the branch entity, we have branch ID as primary key and other attribute is branch address, branch state, branch postcode and branch phone number. In the customer entity, we have customer ID as primary key and branch ID as foreign key. And other attribute is customer first and last name, customer phone number and customer address. In the car entity, we have car ID as primary key and other attribute is car brand, car year manufacture and car capacity. In the feedback entity, we have feedback ID as primary key and car ID and customer ID as foreign key and other attribute is feedback score and feedback date. In the bill entity, we have bill ID as primary key and customer ID as foreign key and other attribute is bill date and bill amount. In the rental entity, we have rental ID as primary key and customer ID, car ID, bill ID as foreign key and other attribute is rental rate, rental date start and rental date end.
Next, I will continue with Ddl. To create table, we need to put the table names, attribute names and data types of attributes. We also need to identify the primary key and the foreign key. For table branch, we have 5 attributes and the primary key is branch ID. For the table customer, we have 6 attributes and the foreign key is branch ID and the primary key is customer ID. For the table car, we have 4 attributes and the primary key is car ID. For the table feedback, we have 5 attributes and primary key is feedback ID and the foreign key we have car ID and customer ID. For the table bill, we have 4 attributes and the primary key is bill ID and foreign key is customer ID. For table rental, we have 7 attributes and we have primary key is rental ID and we have 3 foreign key is customer ID, car ID and bill ID.
So for simple query, let's read the question first. Display the detail of the bill where the bill amount is more than 500 ringgit. Sort the result according to the ascending customer ID. First, let's see to the bill table. So select star from bill. Select this and run. We got the output of the bill table. We have bill ID, customer ID, bill date and bill amount. Back to the question, display the detail of the bill. So we just use this statement, select star from bill because we want all the detail. Proceed to the question where the bill amount is more than 500 ringgit. So where bill amount more than 500 ringgit, 2 decimal place. Proceed to the question, sort the result. We use order by. Sort the result according to the ascending customer ID. Order by customer ID, and ASC. Put the semicolon, select all, and run. We got the output.
The manager wants the list about the detail of the feedbacks that score more than 5 and order it by customer ID ascending. So, first one, we must select from, and then we want to uh, we want to we want and then we want to take it from feedback table. So from feedback and the condition where feedback score more than 5 and then more than 5 and must order and then order by customer ID ASC, and then when we want to run it we get the result.
For column function query, the question given is the management got a report that there is a decrease in people that rent a car at 101 branch. To know if that is true or not, the management can count total customer for branch ID 101 and compare with the previous records. To solve the equation, we write select count and count bracket star bracket from customer where the branch ID equals to 101. And then we run the statement and we got the output is 4. That means that the people who go to the branch 101 is 4.
SQL column function. Show the minimum bill amount and the maximum bill amount. So in this question, it requires us to display the minimum bill amount and the maximum bill amount among all the bill in this rental system. So first, we type select to define the result columns, and then we can use aggregate function, which is main in bracket bill amount, and then we can rename it as minimum bill amount. So we put as min bill amount. Don't forget the apostrophe, and then same goes to maximum. We put max in bracket bill amount, and then we rename it as max bill amount, and then from table bill. So now we run, and then here is the result.
The question given is there is a damage to car 027 HBS. The damage was recovered on 6 November 2022. The management wants to know the customer full name, phone number and address who rented car 027 HBS, where the rented day ends before or on 6 November 2022. For this question, we need to join renter table with customer table. First, we write select C customer ID, customer F name, customer L name, and customer phone number. And the last one, we write customer address. From customer, and we put C, and renter we put L, where C customer ID equals to L customer ID, and the car ID is 027 HBS. And rental date ends is less than or equals to 2022 November 6th, and we run the query, and the output is we have two records for this query.
List bill number, bill date, rental rate, duration of the rental, and the bill amount for each bill for every rental. Sort the list based on the duration. So in this question, it requires us to display the bill number, bill date, rental rate, duration of the rental, and the bill amount. And also requires us to sort the result according to the duration. Okay, so first in this question, it requires us to involve the calculation, which is the duration of the rental in terms of day. So we can use the Scala function, which is a date diff, and then the second thing that happened in this question is it involves two table, which is table B and table rental. So we can represent table B as B and table rental as L. So first, to define the result, we must put select B that represent table bill dot bill ID, and then we display bill date and then rental rate, and then we use date diff as a Scala function. So date diff in a bracket rental date end, and then comma rental date start, and then we rename it as duration, and then comma another details that the question one is bill amount, and then from table bill, don't forget the B, and then comma the second table is rental, we represent it as L, and then where bill ID is equal to L bill ID, and then we sort the result according to the duration, which is we can write as order by duration. So here is the result.
The manager wants a list that contains the customer ID, customer first name, and feedback score for branch ID is 102. So for the join query, we must select the first one. We select C.customer ID because customer ID, and C is because from table customer, customer first name, and feedback score. Then we will put from customer C because from table customer, and feedback S from table feedback, and then the join where C customer ID equal to F customer ID. This is a foreign key that has both in both table, and then the last condition branch ID 102 and we put n branch ID equal to 102, and then when we run it and we get the result.
For subquery, we read the question first. List customer ID, first and last name, and bill amount where bill amount less than maximum of bill amount. So first, select C customer ID, customer F name, customer L name, and sum bill amount from customer C and bill B, where C.customer ID equal to B.customer ID, which is the foreign key. After that, group by C.customer ID, customer F name, customer L name, and bill amount. After that, having some bill amount less than, because the question asks you about where bill amount less than. So less than, put the subquery, open bracket, select max bill amount from bill table, select all, and run. We got the output.
So we're going to move on to the next example of subquery. So our question is list customer ID, bill ID, and total amount of all those customers that have paid booking fees for over 200 ringgit. So what we're going to do is we're going to select customer ID, bill amount from bill, where bill amount in, we insert the subquery, open bracket, select bill amount from bill where bill amount is over 200, close bracket. So we're gonna select all and then we're gonna run, and this is the output that we need. So we're gonna move on to the last example of the subquery, which is the question is list car ID, car brand and car capacity of a car that has not been chosen to be run by the customer. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna select car ID, car brand and car capacity from car, where car ID not in, this is where we're gonna put the subquery. So it's gonna be open bracket, select car ID from rental and order by car ID descending. So we're gonna select all and then we're gonna run, and this is the output that we're gonna get. For the conclusion, this project is designed to meet the requirement of the system, which able to meet the objective to give satisfaction to Ayra's car rental company and its customer. Therefore, we have developed a system for Ayra car rental company to computerize the rental system of its company. The system is significantly improved the company's data management system, which before was carried out manually. All the information is stored manually, which the company used paper, and this has made the staff need to face some difficulties in searching customer information. Besides, manual system nowadays will increase the probability of data loss and false information, which could be a bad reputation for the company. The system that we developed in this project can manage a huge amount of data effectively, which it helps to keep the data in more organized way, better than the current system that they use, which is the manual system. It also helps Ayra car rental in managing their car rental system more efficiently, which helps customer to rent the company's car in a more easier way. Next, Ayra's car the staff can easily find their customer information if the car that the customer rent got have any type of damage or some kind of trouble with the car, the staff can easily inform the customer about what happened. The last one, the system offers backups and also improvement in security. This helps to prevent the data from being leaked and also helps to keep the customer privacy in a more secure way. So that's all for the conclusions.